This was Job's regular custom. I want to talk about for a few minutes what to do when you are concerned about your children. Amen. What do you do when you are concerned about your children? Somebody's saying here this morning, Pastor, you're talking to me because I am one who is concerned about my child who I know is living outside of the will of God. What do I do? Many parents right here are heartbroken because of a wayward son or a wayward daughter. Many parents right here in this room have no clue as to why the child you raised so well is making such awful and disastrous decisions. They know better. They were raised in church, raised in Sunday school. They know better. They know the Word of God. They were a part of VBS, part of the choir, part of the youth department, even a part of BTU. And look at them making such awful and disastrous decisions. What do I do? Number one, write this down, my friends. Number one, you keep the faith. You keep the faith. Notice verse 1. Notice verse 1. You see Job's faith. He was blameless. He was upright. He was God-fearing. And he was evil-shunning. Look at verse 2. You see his family. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters. Notice verse 3. Look at his finances. He was wealthy. But notice what you see first, his faith. Before I can get my family right, I have to first get my faith right. Before I can get my finances right, I have to first get my faith right. Look at your neighbor and ask him, how is your faith? I didn't ask you, how is your family? I said, how is your faith? Because if you got the faith, God's got the power to bring your family back together again. I didn't ask you, how are your finances? I want to know, how is your faith? Because if you have the faith, surely if Jesus can take 2 fish and 5 barley loaves and feed 5,000 men, not including women and children, surely he can stretch a few dollars. How is your faith? Because if you have the faith, I've come to tell you, God's got the power. God is only as big as your faith. He's only as big as your faith. My cousin who had a fish tank in his house, I was at his house passing, and I was looking at all of his fish in there. I mean, he had over 50 fish in there, and I'm looking at him. He said, "Cuz, you see my shark in there?" I said, "You ain't got no shark in there." He said, "He in there, cuz. He in there, find him. He in there." I started looking, I said, "Oh man, that is a shark." I said, "That's a shark. It's the smallest shark I've ever seen in my life. But that's a shark." He said, "I told you." I said, "Cuz, ain't you scared he gonna outgrow this tank?" He said, "No, baby." He said, "A shark only grows the size of the environment you put him in." He said, "Now if I put him in the ocean, no telling how big he's gonna grow." And you know, I thought about it. Many of us, we got God in this little faith. Y'all not praying with me here. And the reason why we've come here this morning, somebody needs to broaden your faith. Because to many of you, he's too small. That's why the Bible says, magnify the Lord with me. When you magnify something, what are you doing? You're making it bigger. And many of you, he's too small, and you need to make him bigger. Y'all ain't praying with me here. He's bigger than cancer. He's bigger than diabetes. He's bigger than your haters. He's bigger than your enemies. He's bigger than your issue. Look at your neighbor and say, he's bigger than that. That's why you ought to give him a great praise. Y'all ain't praying with me here. Hallelujah. You see his faith. You see his faith. Before I can get my family right, I have to first get my faith right. Y'all remember when Jesus came off that mountain and there was confusion going on down there? And he said, "What's going on down here?" And Father said, "Look, my son, he demon possessed." Jesus said, how long has he been like that? He said, he's been like that ever since he was a child. Said, I took him to your disciples over there. They couldn't do nothing. And he said to Jesus, can you? And Jesus said to him, can I? In other words, don't confuse me with them. And Jesus says, first of all, the issue ain't really with them. The issue is with you. He said, can you believe? All things are possible to those that believe. And the Father said, Lord, I believe. But he's been like this so long. Help my unbelief. Before you help me with my child, help me with my faith. Jesus said, bring the boy here. And you know what? Somebody today needs to ask God, help my unbelief. Not so much help my finances, not so much help my health, help my unbelief. Because if I get my faith right, everything else may get right. Y'all ain't praying with me. Help my Never forget, it was 2:45. I had to pick up my son Zachy at 3 o'clock. And so I said, I got 15 minutes. I'm going to run my car through this car wash. And it's one of those car washes where your front left tire got to be right in between that tracking device. And doggone it, I was in there off track. And things said back up, and pull forward, and back up, and pull forward. I couldn't get on track for anything. It said back up, pull forward. And now I'm late getting my son because I'm in this thing dirty and off track. I can't get my son where he needs to be because I'm in here dirty and off track. I can't pick him up because I'm in here dirty and off track. Matter of fact, I let him down because I'm in here dirty and off track. And that's what's going on with a lot of us. Many of us can't get our children because we in here dirty and off track. We can't pick them up because we in here dirty and off track. We're letting them down because we in here dirty and off track. And that's the reason why we're here this morning. We're trying to stay on track with God. Watch this now. Because, come here, wife. Come here, son. Because, watch this now. When anything goes wrong in your life, don't miss this. Y'all come up here. When anything goes wrong in your life, the first question you need to ask yourself is, where am I with God? Because that might explain why this went wrong. That might explain why they went wrong. Because watch this now. Hook up. Because if my relationship with God is off track, everybody else that hooks up to the train of my life is going to jump the track too. If my relationship with God is off track, then my relationship with my wife is going to be off track. And then relationship with the kids is going to be off track. And then the finances is going to be off track because I'm off track with God. That's why I need to be in Bible study. That's why I need to be in Bible school. Y'all not praying with me here. That's why I need to be in prayer meeting, because I'm trying to stay on track with God, because I have too many people hooked up to me. Y'all not praying with me here. I have too much stuff hooked up to me, and I don't want it to jump the track too. Because my relationship with God is off. My relationship with her is going to be off. Her relationship with the kids is going to be off. That's why I got to stay on track with God. Because the Bible says, husbands, love your wife as Christ. Love the church would mean I need to stay on track with Christ in order to be a good husband. And then it says, wives, submit yourself unto your husband as unto the Lord. She needs to stay on track with the Lord in order to stay on track with me. And then it says, children, obey your parents in the Lord. And in my finances, will a man rob God? And really the question ought to be, will a man rob himself? Because to rob God is to rob yourself. Every time you rob God, a double robbery takes place. Because he said, I'll open for you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing. You won't even have room enough. That's why I'm trying to stay on track with God. Look at verse 1. Job gives his children the greatest gift you can give a child. And that is, look at verse 1, a good example. He was blameless, upright, God-fearing, evil shunning. The greatest gift you can give your family is a good example. The greatest gift you can give your children is not a car, it's not clothes, it's not money. It's a good example. And when you die, the greatest thing you can leave behind is not the house. It's not the life insurance policy. It's not your jewelry. It's not your cars. It's not what's in the checking. It's not what's in the saving. But the greatest thing you can leave behind is a good example. Can I tell you why the greatest gift you can give somebody is a good example? Here it is. Because you can't be what you have not seen. A lot of y'all expecting your children to be it. We're expecting these young people to be it when they don't see it. Our country right now is hurting because of bad examples. They don't see good ones. Many of them don't see it. In order for that boy to be a man, a good man, he got to see a good man. In order for her to be a lady, she's got to see a lady. In order for him to be a good husband, he's got to see a good husband. In order for her to be a good wife, she got to see a good wife. If not in her house, in this house. In order for him to be a good father, he got to see a good father. If not in his house, in this house. In order for her to be a good mother, she got to see a good mother. If not in her house, in this house. In order for them to be good Christians, they have to see a good Christian. Because you cannot be what you have not seen. And many of us are here this morning because we saw a good example. We saw mom and daddy lean and depend on the Lord. We saw how faithful they were to God's house. We saw how faithful they were to ministry. But you can't be what you have not seen. And some of us need to repent this morning. Lord, forgive me for being a bad example. I haven't been the best example for my children. That's why he said, let your light so shine. Let your light so shine before men that they see your good works and glorify your Father. Look at these lights in here, y'all. Look at these lights. These lights ain't making no noise. They shining. And because they shining, they helping us find our way. Because they shining, they keeping us from tripping. They keeping us from falling. Because they shining, they keeping us from hurting each other and stepping on each other. Your light can help somebody find their way to the Lord. Y'all not praying with me here. Your light can help somebody not trip, not fall. Your light can keep folk from hurting each other and stepping on each other. Matter of fact, you can win folk without even saying a word. When he said, let your light so shine, you can win folk without even saying a word. And many times you read the Bible, it says Jesus answered them not a word. You can win folk without even saying a word. 1 Peter 3:1 says, likewise, wives, be submissive to your husband. Here it is, that if any obey not the word, they may without a word be won, while they behold your conversation. Coupled with fear, whose adorning is not the outward adorning, the plaiting of the hair, the weave, the wearing of jewelry, but the hidden man of the heart, which is a meek and quiet spirit. In order to enjoy TV, you need two things. You need sound and you need picture. One without the other is hard to enjoy television. And in order to be a good Christian, we need more than sound. We need a picture. Well, we got sound, don't we? Ain't he all right? We got sound. Won't he do it? Ooh. Some of y'all waiting on the sound right now. Come on, bring it on in. Pull that train in the station. Some will start moaning on you. Mm-hmm. That means bring it on in. But where the picture? It's not how high you jump, it's how straight you walk when you come back down. Huh? My daddy told me, he said, boy, the greatest sermon you'll ever preach ain't up there in that pulpit. It's the one you live. And the greatest song you'll ever sing ain't with the mic in your hand. It's the one you live. Lord, help me to live the life I sing about. Help me to live the life I preach about. Have y'all noticed today in most public restrooms, many of them don't even have men or women on the door? It's just a picture of a woman and just a picture of a man. And you can look at the picture and know which way to go, to get right, to get rid of some stuff in your life, straighten up. Why don't they have men and women on a lot of these restrooms? Because people don't read. Folk won't read, but they'll follow a picture. Bailey, what is your point? My point is some folk are not going to read. They're not going to read the word. They don't read the word, but they'll follow a picture. They can get right just because of a picture. They can get rid of some stuff in their life because of a picture. They can straighten up because they saw a picture. See, everybody's not going to read the 66 books. That's why you have to take them to the 67th book. And the 67th book of the Bible is your story. I'm preaching, y'all ain't saying nothing. And in your story, they'll find a living testimony. I wish I had a witness in here. Look at your neighbor and say, take them to the 67th book. Since they ain't reading the 66. A majority of people will read the 67th. That's why Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. Matter of fact, if you go to Walmart, this is how you can tell a good worker. If you're trying to find something and you can't find it, and you ask one of the workers, hey, what are them light bulbs? If they tell you what aisle the light bulbs are on, they're not a good worker. They are trained. If somebody is trying to find something and can't find it, not to tell them, but to show them. Come on over here. Aisle 13, right here. Light bulbs? All right, here they are, right here. Show and tell. That was my favorite day of the school day. Hello, somebody in kindergarten. Show and tell. And that's what we Christians ought to be about. Show and tell. A lot of folks say, I can show you better than I can tell you. What's the picture? And I never forget, in Albany, Georgia, my wife was at Chick-fil-A. They had a walk-up window, and she was behind a lady that was very confused. This lady asked the lady behind the counter at Chick-fil-A, do y'all have any hamburgers? And folk behind were doing what y'all doing. Folk were laughing. It's Chick-fil-A. It's hamburger. And you know, at Chick-fil-A, they're very nice. They have a reputation for being nice. The lady was so kind. She said, no, ma'am, we don't have hamburgers. She said, well, what do y'all have? Folk behind them, my, it's Chick-fil-A. I said, what do y'all have? The lady said, well, ma'am, we have chicken. She said, y'all have like a 2-piece, 3-piece? What y'all have? You have a wing special? And the lady was kind. No, ma'am, we don't have, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. She said, we have like chicken strips or chicken nuggets or chicken sandwich. She said, that's good. Give me some of them strips. 4 count. And my wife got back in the car laughing and said, can you believe what just happened? This lady asked, did they have hamburgers at Chick-fil-A? Can you believe that? I said, yes, I can. She said, it's Chick-fil-A. I said, yeah. How can you get that confused? It's Chick-fil-A. I said, baby, I was confused when I went in there. She said, how can you be confused? I said, because, baby, they promoting chicken, but they show cows. That's why she asked for a hamburger. Them cows is throwing her off. I mean, if you pushing chicken, take them heifers down. That's all you see with Chick-fil-A is them heifers. I said, the picture is throwing her off. And that's what's going on with us, because we are supposed to be pushing Christ. But we're showing another picture. And it's throwing them off. Every day we ought to push Christ, because Philippians 1:21 says to live is Christ and to die is gain, which means if you are alive, if you are living, to live is Christ. If you want to know your purpose, there it is. To live is Christ. Every day we ought to be pushing Christ on our job, in our home, in our community, up the highway. People ought to see Christ in us. But many people are confused and not coming to Christ because we're showing them another picture. He gave them a good example. He was blameless. He was blameless. It means, don't say sinless. He said blameless. He was unspotted by the world. Many of us are doing too much in front of our children. And the problem with doing wrong in front of our children is we lose our voice. Because then our children say, what can daddy tell me? With what he doing? I mean, what can mama tell me? They get to the point where they say, I ain't hearing you because I'm seeing you. You telling me not to cuss, you cussing like a sailor. You telling me not to fornicate, but you shacking. Y'all ain't married. What can you tell me? I mean, you telling me not to lie, but when that person called, you told me to tell them you wasn't here. And threaten me if I didn't tell them. You better tell them. It's throwing them off because they're watching you. Like the little boy came home, he said, Mama, what is a Christian, Mama? What is a Christian? She said, baby, a Christian baby is somebody who walk like Christ, talk like Christ, act like Christ, think like Christ. That's what a Christian is, baby. The little boy said, Mama, have I ever seen one? He said, Mama, have you ever seen one? She said, get out this kitchen. One little boy was dying of cancer. Doctor pulled the father out in the hallway and said, I'm sorry, sir. We've done all we can do. Give him about 48 hours. I'm so sorry. Father said, thank you, Doc. I appreciate you. I know you tried. Thank you so much. Doctor said, "You want to get a chaplain to help him with the transition?" He said, "No, I got it. I'm good. Thank you, Doc." Father stood in that hallway and cried, gathered himself. He went in there, sat on the bed with Junior. He said, "Junior." Junior said, "Yeah, Daddy." He said, "Boy, you're going to see Jesus real soon, man. You're going to beat me seeing Jesus, man. You're going to see Jesus." Junior started crying. Father said, "You scared of? You scared of seeing Jesus? You scared of meeting Jesus?" The little boy said, "Daddy, if he anything like you, I want to meet him. If he's anything like you, I want to meet him." Father said, "That's what I've been trying to be like, Junior." And you know what? That ought to be our testimony. Our kids ought to be saying, if he's anything like you, I want to meet him. Because in order to come to Christ, you have to see Christ in somebody. Many of us have come to Christ because we saw him in grandmama. We saw him in granddaddy. We saw him in mama. We saw him in daddy. We saw him in that member. We saw him in that co-worker. He was blameless. Not only that, it said he was upright. That means he was honest. That means he was truthful. And one thing our children need is the truth. You know why they need the truth? Because the truth will set them free. Lies put them in bondage. And a lot of us trying to figure out why our children are in bondage to lesbianism, homosexuality, in bondage to drugs, in bondage to gangs. You know why many of them are still in bondage? Because we don't love them enough to tell them the truth. Many of us know how our grandchildren are living. We know what they're doing. We know how our children are living. And we haven't said anything. And the truth will set them free. Lies put them in bondage. And the devil, according to John 8, is the father of all lies. And many of our children are living a lie. And that's what the devil wants them to do. That's why Legion, y'all want to know why Legion never got better? Because he loved being in the cemetery. He lived in the cemetery. He loved being around people who wouldn't say nothing. That's why he lived in the cemetery. That's why he loved the cemetery. He loved being around folk who wouldn't say nothing. He running naked. Ain't nobody saying nothing. He hollering, screaming, going up and down the hill. Ah, 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 stuff all out. Ain't nobody saying nothing. And you know what? If we be honest, that's why many of us hang around who we hang around. Because they ain't going to say nothing. And that's why a lot of our children run with who they running with, because they ain't going to say nothing. They can act a fool. They can do whatever they want to do. Ain't nobody going to say nothing. And that's why Legion didn't change. But thank God the truth came to Legion. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And when the truth got through with Legion, he was clothed and in his right mind at the feet of Jesus. And now he was ready to go home and make a difference, because Jesus said, now go home and tell the great things. Tell what the truth can do for you. See, a real parent is like a doctor. Don't nobody in here want a doctor that's going to lie to you. How you going to get better if he lying to you? And many of that doctor, he hurts your feelings. He tell you, you need to cut this out. Oh. You need to lose this. Ooh. I need to lose that, doc? Yeah. You need to stop this. You need to start this. And you should be all right. And even though this man hurt your feelings, you still say, man, thank you, Doc. Thank you. I'm gonna try. I'm going to try to do that. And see, that's how a real parent is, a real friend is. You need to cut this out. You need to lose them. You need to stop this. You need to start coming to God's house. You need to start coming to Bible study. But the truth. See, a real parent is like a ref. And I got so much respect for refs, because refs got to call it according to the book, the law of the game. They can't be influenced by outside crowd. They gotta call it. They gotta call it. They gotta call it. They ain't afraid of nobody out there 6'7", 6'8". They ain't scared of them. Folk in the stand, bad call, Ralph, bad call, you stupid. He ain't worried about them. They can call him whatever he want to call him. He ain't worried about them. He got to call it like he see it. He got to call it according to the game. Y'all not praying with me here. If they foul, they foul. Shooting two. Player want to get his face. Player want to keep going. That's how a parent got to be. Y'all ain't praying with me here. You got to call it according to God's word. If they foul, they foul. And if they want to get out the way with you and can't abide by the rules and regulations of this house. You don't want to go to church on Sunday? On Saturday? Look at your neighbor and say, blow the whistle. Many of you are where you are today because somebody blew the whistle. You're not dead today because somebody blew the whistle. You're not in prison today because somebody blew the whistle. You're not in on drugs today because somebody blew the whistle. You're not high and strung out because somebody blew the whistle. You're not prostituting your body because somebody blew the whistle. Thank God for the whistleblowers. Look at your neighbor and say, thank God for the whistleblowers. Hallelujah. Go to 1 Samuel 3 real quick. Let me show you this. 1 Samuel 3. 1 Samuel 3, I got to show you this because God will get us if we don't blow that whistle. Look at 1 Samuel 3, verse 11. And the Lord said to Samuel, see, I'm about to do something in Israel that will make the ears of everyone who hears about it tingle. At that time, I will carry out against Eli everything I spoke against his family from beginning to end. For I told him that I would judge his family forever because of the sin he knew about. His sons blasphemed God, and he failed to restrain them. Therefore, I swore to the house of Eli, the guilt of Eli's house will never be atoned for by sacrifice or offering. I'm going to get Eli because he didn't get his boys. He knew what they were doing. He knew they were sleeping with the ushers. That's what they were doing. That's what they were doing. He knew they were sleeping with the ushers, and he knew they were stealing money out the plate, and he failed to restrain them. So God said, I'm going to get him because he didn't get his boys. Y'all, God will get us for not getting our children. And Pastor, his boys were grown. They were old enough to know better, and he didn't blow the whistle. Now, I know some of y'all have retired from your job, but you don't retire from being no father. You don't retire from being no mother. As long as you are their mother and their father, you owe it to them to tell them the truth. You owe it to blow that whistle. We're talking about, well, they grown now. They got to make their own mistake. Now, blow the whistle. Know your son cheating on his wife. Blow the whistle. Know your daughter cheating on her husband. Blow the whistle. And then my daddy found out my brother Judge was shacking. It's 11 of us. Bertrisa, Bertrand, Bertrand, Berthophilus, Bertrand, Bertwanette, Bartholomew, Bertrina, Bertabitha, Bertrick, and Berthadius. That's all of us. The next one they said should be birth control. But so I was doing revival in Tulsa at the time, and my daddy called me at the end of the revival. He said, son, how'd the revival go? I said, Dad, we had a blessed time. He said, did you know your brother George was shacking with Erica? I'm like, no. I knew it. But I knew she was pregnant, and I knew George wanted to tell Daddy for himself, so I was trying to stay out of it. Daddy said, well, we got her parents over here, and I want you to drive us over there to his place. I said, oh. Now I'm texting Judge, get out of there, man. Get out of. The cavalry is coming. And they gonna take you to Calvary. This Negro ain't responding. I'm driving him out there. I'll never forget it. My daddy knocked on that door and looked in that peephole. The judge opened the door with no shirt on. I said, oh. The girl's mother said, oh. Daddy said, you going to invite us in? He was like, yeah, y'all come on. They said, put a shirt on. We got up there, and the judge was looking at me funny, and I said, check your phone, man. I never forget what my daddy did. He walked over to my brother with the Bible. He said, show me in here where God approves of how you're living, and we'll leave. Judge just looked at the Bible. Daddy said, y'all going to have to make a decision tonight. Are y'all going to live in this sin? Or are y'all going to do things God's way? He said, but for the record, son, if you choose to live in this, you're going to have me arrested every day. Because I'm going to be here every day until you come out of it. And he said, you don't believe me? Try me. The judge said, can we go in the back and talk about it? He said, y'all hurry up. It's 11 at night. Hurry up. They went back there. I'll never forget it. They went back there, and my daddy looked at her daddy and said, she going to make the right decision because you trained her better than this. They know better. Daddy looked at mom and said, he's going to be all right. He's going to make the right decision because he knows the word. He's going to make the right decision. And Dad said, you know what? While they back there deciding what they're going to do, I think we ought to sing a hymn and help them with their decision. Daddy said, guide me, oh, thou great Jehovah, pilgrim through this barren land. He looked at me. I said, guide me over. Daddy got to that part. He said, judge is weak, but thou art mighty. Hold him with thy powerful hand. I said, judge is weak, but guess what? Judge made the right decision, gave Erica the apartment. He moved back in with mom and daddy. They ended up getting married. She had the baby. On last Sunday, Daddy just installed Judge as co-pastor of the church. But it never would have happened had Daddy not. If you want to see your children live up to their true potential, you have to blow the whistle. If you want to see them become all God has created them to be, you have to blow that whistle. He was blameless, he was upright, he was God-fearing, he was evil shunning. But verse 4 shows you that his children were not totally right. I can tell something was wrong with his children because of verse 4. It said the sons would invite their sisters to the birthday celebration. I could tell something wasn't right because of who they didn't invite. Why y'all didn't invite Joe? I mean, it's a birthday. Why y'all leave out Joe? I'll tell you why they didn't invite Job, because he was blameless, upright, God-fearing, evil shunning. They knew he wouldn't go for what they were doing. They were eating and drinking. They were turn down for what? They were drinking. And that's how you can tell many times when your children are up to no good, because they don't invite you. You find out after. But watch this. I believe Job's children would have lived longer had they invited him to the party. Because y'all remember, God told Satan, you can touch everything but Job's life. Now, if Job's children would have invited him to the party, Job would have been under that roof. And I don't believe that roof would have caved in on them kids and killed them kids had they invited their father. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land the Lord thy God giveth thee, and that it may go well with you. Your life is tied to your parents. Don't expect to live long mistreating your mama and your daddy. It takes more than cardio to live a long life. It takes more than Zumba to live a long life. It takes more than eating right to live a long life. It takes more than walking every day to live a long life. You got to honor your father and your mother. And when you don't, you're cutting your own days short. And not only that, it said that it may go well with you, which means your blessing is tied to your parents. It takes more than a degree to be blessed. Your blessing is tied to your mama. Your blessing is tied to your father. It's not the nursing home's sole responsibility to take care of our parents. We need to get up there and take care of our parents and our grandparents. They fed us when we couldn't feed ourselves. Your turn. Get up there and feed them now that they can't feed themselves. They bathed you when you couldn't bathe yourself. Now bathe them now that they can't bathe themselves. They dressed you when you couldn't dress yourself. Your turn. You ought to dress them now that they can't dress themselves. My daddy done got old and feeble now, and I've had to dress him myself. Y'all not praying with me here. They changed your dirty diaper. Now they ought to be able to depend on you. Some folk ask me all the time, Bailey, man, how you get on the Word Network? Man, how you get on YouTube? How you get where you are, man? What college you graduate from? I ain't graduated no college. What seminary you go to? I ain't been to no seminary. And I ain't got nothing against education. But I believe my blessings have been tied to my parents. Y'all not praying with me here. My life is tied. They've given me some stuff you can't get in the classroom. I'm preaching, y'all ain't saying nothing. He's giving me some books can't teach me. Your blessing is tied to your parents. It's not just tied to God, but it's tied to your parents. I got a